Welcome back, accounting stars. Yes, you are with Ashraf Patel on Matrix Uploaded. The section we are concluding is budgets. In this last segment, we're going to ask different types of questions to show you what are possible questions that you could find in past papers and how do you go about answering these questions. The question says, comment on the advertising policy. Look at the relationship between money spent on advertising and turnover. Do you agree with this policy? Explain your reason. Okay, here goes. Look at my sales for January. My sales for January, the figure is 700,000. The advertising that I spent, the amount that I spent on advertising is 87,500. Now, let's do a calculation. Let's take 87,500 to find out what percentage am I spending on advertising as a component of my sales. So take 87,500 over your 700,000, which is your sales figure, multiply it by 100 over 1 to give you a percentage, and you find that your percentage, the proportionate percentage, is 12.5%. Now, look at the response. Yes, my advertising expenditure is 12.5% of turnover. The increase in advertising, watch, when I increased my advertising to 160,000, it resulted in a proportionate increase in my turnover. In other words, my sales. So as I increase the advertising, my sales also increases. What does this tell you? Yes, it tells us that definitely when we're increasing our advertising, it's resulting in an increased proportion in my sales. So definitely my advertising policy is definitely working. Let's look at another question. Give a possible reason for the loan that is taken out in February. Do you think this was a wise decision? Again, depending, what is this question asking you? It's asking you to analyze the cash budget and to prepare a response to it. The loan was primarily used to finance the purchase of equipment. Let's have a look at this and see what are they referring to. Because we need to see our cash budget in order to do this. Let's get to our cash budget. And clearly you can see in your cash budget, there goes. In February, there was a loan from Copyright Bank. There it is. Okay? And if you look at February as well, in relation to the other months, watch. Nothing in January in terms of equipment that was purchased, nothing in March, right? So all other expenses you would find normally are the same looking at this cash budget. But you pick up that in February, this one year, the 380,000 is a unique expense. Why? We bought equipment in February. So therefore, if we're looking at that, we can clearly now, what can we say? We can say that if we're looking at the reason for the loan taken out in February, what was the reason? It was used for the purchase of equipment. So there's a direct correlation between the loan and the equipment. Now the question, we go further and we ask, you've made quite a substantial investment in equipment. Why? Why did you do that? Obviously, you're trying to move your business to become more capital intensive. And what would this do? This would now reduce the need for many employees. In terms of mechanization, you're buying equipment which obviously is necessary. With technology, you need to move ahead. And obviously, this would result in using less employees in your business. Since the interest on the loan is 2,400 per month, the salary of each employee is 4,000 per month, therefore reducing the number of workers because of mechanization, which could result in a bigger saving. Look at the types of responses we are expecting of you when this type of question is given to you in a question paper. Realizing what her cash position would be for the months ahead, what should Irma do to ensure that she meets her payments? What are her possibilities? What options does she have? 1, we could arrange with the bank for an overdraft, especially during February, or we can obtain a loan larger than 160,000. Remember, in February, that's the month where we have a great shortfall. And as a result, she could also look at maybe postponing the purchase of the equipment, maybe leave it for later months. Now, obviously, this information we are using from our cash budget in order to make decisions. And that is the important criteria. Is it fair to keep your employees waiting for longer than they should for their salaries? Definitely unethical. No, a definitive no. Employees must be paid at the end of every month. There's no ways that you would make your employees wait. They have their commitments, they have their lives to run, and they are expected to be paid at the end of each month. Well, guys, that's it for today. Remember, you need to 1, prepare a cash budget. Number 2, very important, analyze an interpretation of cash budgets is definitely something that you would pick up in every matric exam paper. What are you going to be doing? Practicing on your past papers to ensure that you get that A in accounting. So, shoot for the moon, because if you don't get there, definitely you're going to be an accounting shining star.